Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about real crimes and real people. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell button, and give this video many likes. I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment. Let's chat. And for today, I bring you the murder of Lee Ye-jin and Woo Ye-sol, two young girls from South Korea. This case is also known as the Anyang Student Murders. This is parents' worst nightmare. Let's see what happened. Let's get started. It was December 2007, Christmas Day, a day for celebration with family. Two little girls, Lee Ye-jin, 10 years old, Woo Ye-sol, 8, were playing at a playground after finishing church services. It was an harmless occasion that turned into a parent's nightmare. At 4 p.m., Lee Ye-jin and Ye-sol were seen through CCTV footage outdoor the concert hall from the Anyang Culture and Arts Center. Then at 5 p.m., they were both seen leaving the center together, and then they disappeared. On December 26, the parents of the two girls went to the police. Ye-jin and Ye-sol hadn't been seen since the day before. The two girls were missing. The police issued an Amber Alert. A search for the two girls started, and local authorities announced a public investigation. Monetary reward was put out, but there were no clues, which resulted the case to stall. But on March 6, 2008, the case was reopened. The goal? Finding Lee Ye-jin and Woo Ye-sol. But this goal would finally be accomplished in the worst way. On March 11, 2008, a reserve officer was doing his training when in a hillside near Suwon found a buried body. The officer called the police to report the gruesome finding. The body was sent to the National Institute of Scientific Investigations. It was concluded the body belonged to a young girl aged between 8 and 10 years old. DNA testing results showed the body of this little girl belonged to one of the missing girls, Lee Ye-jin. And for Ye-jin, it was no longer about finding her, but finding who had done this horrible thing to her. And did Ye-sol met the same fate too? It is certain when you live in a community, even if you don't know people personally, you know who they are from sight. You know some details about them and take notice when something differs from their usual behavior. The police got a tip about a local resident who had rented a car and returned it the very next day. They secured records of rental car services in Anyang on the day the girls were missing. The police learned a local resident named Chung Song-yeon, who lived not far from Lee Ye-jin's house, had rented a 2003 Hyundai Sonata on the day of the disappearance and returned it the next day. They searched and tested the vehicle and found bloodstains, and testing showed the blood belonged to the two missing girls, Lee Ye-jin and Woo Ye-sol. One of them was found dead, and the other one most likely was too. But where was her body? On March 16, 2008, Chung Song-yeon, who lived alone in the same neighborhood as the girls, was arrested at his mother's house, and he, of course, denied the accusations. After many hours of questioning, Song-yeon said he had had an accident. He had hit the girls with the car. Because he felt ashamed of the accident and killing the girls, he hid their bodies. But the police found no evidence or any records of a traffic accident. A profiler was brought in to help to get the truth and hopefully get the information where was Woo Ye-sol. The profiler stated the suspect, who would live in isolation, would lose their self-control easily, and that you had to question him on accurate circumstantial evidence. The suspect stated he was alone that day, but he kept changing his story. He then stated he had worked as a substitute driver that day, but records showed he hadn't worked on December 25th, the day the girls were missing. Then he confessed to kidnapping, assaulting the girls, and suffocating them at his house. He stated he had buried Seul's body in Seul. On March 18, 2008, a soldier found parts of a body under a waterway in Seul. He found a right arm, a left arm, and a right leg. These body remains belonged to Woo Seul. He had killed those two little girls and dismembered their little bodies. But who was this evil man? Chung Song-yeon was born on July 14th in 1969 in Boryong, South Korea. He was born and raised into an evangelical Protestant family. His father was a drunk who used him as a punching bag. He was bullied and harassed in school, and he used to skip classes. During his teen years, a girlfriend left him, and he developed hatred towards women. Chung Song-yeon graduated from Talim University College with a degree in computer science. As an adult, he lived a life of recluse. He worked as a substitute driver. He had no convictions and no records of mental illness. On December 25, 2007, Chung Song-yeon sniffed glue, got high, and went on the prowl. He found Lee Ye-jin and Woo Ye-seul. He lured them by telling them he wanted to show them the city. And to ease them, he used his church activities and pretended to be a man of faith. He took them to his house, he assaulted them, and killed them to hide his actions. While investigations unfolded, Chung Song-yeon was connected to another murder. In July 2004, Chung Tok-soon, a 44-year-old karaoke assistant, disappeared. She was killed in a motel and her body was dumped into sea. Chung Song-yeon was connected to her because the last phone calls the victim had were with him. He admitted he seduced women with sweet promises, but his sweet promises were clearly becoming the path of a serial killer in the making. The police suspected Chung Song-yeon was linked to other cases of disappearances of women and young girls. On March 19, 2008, the body of a woman in her 30s was found in a Wongsang reservoir in Wiwang. Her fingerprints had been removed and both of her hands were tied. Cause of death? Strangulation. Even though they thought he could have done it, they couldn't prove it. And suspicion turned into another evil individual, the Hwasong serial killer, Lee Chung-chae. I have a video on him in my channel, check it out. Do I think Chung Song-yeon killed the woman found in the reservoir? No. For me, he definitely was a serial killer still developing. In 2008, he didn't have his MO perfected. He needed time to grow, but he was definitely dangerous.